I ended up choosing Arizona Pro Wrestling Training Center, where I met Tommy. I will face him in New Mexico in his backyard.
Downtime in the ring.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Downtime in the Ring. This week, we are partnering with our beloved Phase 1 Pro. We have Kevin Koa this week. What's going on, brother?
How's it going? Thanks for having me.
All good. All good. We are excited to have you, especially because you are coming to the land of enchantment to come and wrestle Tommy. But before we get into that, let's learn a little bit more about you. My guy, you are scary in the ring. Wow.
Well, I mean, that part comes easy, just having a profession where you can beat the living crap out of someone and not go to jail for it,
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
That's fair. When did you start training? How long have you been in the business, my guy?
Well, this all goes back to 2002. So I'm as old as WrestleMania. I'm 40. I'm about to turn 40 in October, believe it or not. So
wow.
I mean, You look great for 40. Just Jesus.
Thanks. So I originally started back in 2002 in Hawaii. I was born and raised there. I moved and then I trained for about almost 2 years there, did shows, wrestled for a promotion down there. And I moved to Arizona in 2004. Once I moved here, everything was different. So I stopped wrestling altogether. I didn't get back into it until right around the pandemic hit. I was with my girlfriend and I was going to local shows regularly. And I thought about, hey, I did it before. Why not try it again? And so I looked up schools, kept in touch with them, and I ended up choosing Arizona Pro Wrestling Training Center, where I met Tommy. Started training, and I've been training since 2001. So I've been doing events for about almost 2 years now, almost coming up on 3.
Okay. So why back then did you stop? You just different parts in time, and you were like, you know what, maybe this isn't for me, or what's with that? Because you have a huge gap in between when you went to Arizona and then when you came back.
When I started training and back home, the feel was different. The wrestling was different because around that time, everybody was trying to wrestle like Matt and Jeff Hardy. They had the Hardy Boys look with the baggy pants, the see-through shirts, the long sleeves and all that. Backyard wrestling was really prevalent back then too. And so when I came up here, when I moved to Arizona, it just felt different. I didn't feel like I was a pro wrestler. I felt like I was just like a glorified backyard wrestler with the experience that I had and the training I had, and it just felt different. It felt off, and I felt it go away. I felt that passion. I felt that fire just go away. It wasn't part of me anymore. And so I stopped watching wrestling. I stopped going to training. I stopped everything about wrestling, and it didn't come back until 2016. And then I started going to shows again, and then I fell back in love with it.
I guess I could say relatively short time. You've been able to do a lot compared to most in that short amount of time. I've seen a picture of you at a certain dojo in California, which a lot of people would give an arm and a leg to be there. PCW, there's a lot of opportunities. How did that all come about?
At the Arizona Pro Wrestling Training Center, we have a lot of connections to WWE, now AEW. Just recently with New Japan, we have guest trainers come in every now and then. Like Alexander Hammerstone, we got Graves coming in every now and then. And at that time, we had Clark Connors come in every once in a while pop in to train and whatnot. So that's how I was able to go to the dojo through him. He took a liking to me. You know, we started talking, and he invited me to come down to Vegas when New Japan was there doing a show. He put us in touch with Katsuyori Shibata, who was running the LA dojo at the time. Introduced us to him. Then Shibata formally invited us to come down for a week, and that's where at the end of that week, that's where that picture was taken. So I got to spend a week with Shibata, with how Shibata trains the New Japan dojo, LA dojo. He put us through all the ringers, like how they would do every single day, but we only got a week. But I literally barely survived.
So I watched the your last podcast that you did with Two Scoops in your face to face, and it's funny that you had mentioned Shibata and like the New Japan stuff. I noticed that you had a Hayabusa and a Jushin Liger plushie. Do you like particularly find yourself watching more of Japanese wrestling post, or was that previously being introduced to Shibata in the dojo?
Oh, I've been watching New Japan or Japanese strong style Japanese wrestling since I was a kid. Mm-hmm. So I was introduced to it through the Great Muta, and then through that I found Masahiro Chono. And then Keiji Muto, which is Great Muta, his alter ego. And then I just started following Japanese pro wrestling, because Japanese pro wrestling back in the 80s would come down to Hawaii, and do like island shows and stadium shows and whatnot. So we would have Keiji Muto, we would have Masahiro Chono, Tiger Mask, Jushin Thunder Liger. And then when I was actually training in 2002, they had another promotion started bringing in those Japanese wrestlers in 2003, 2004. I got to meet most of them, but I was a big fan of Japanese wrestling prior to me going to the dojo. So it was just icing on the cake for me to go to the dojo, because that's one of my goals. To go to the dojo was one of my goals, and then to actually wrestle in Japan would be like the big goal.
Do you feel 40? Because you don't move like you're 40. So I can't remember if we were talking, was it with Aaron Ash, Chris, that I said 40 is the new 20 in professional wrestling, where, so it was, where we have guys who are going to wrestle up into their 50s if they possibly can. Do you still feel like your body's good, or are you starting to get the aches and pains?
It's starting to add up, but like training, when I started training and when I'm actually having wrestling matches, I really don't feel it until like a day or two afterwards. But then I always have to remind myself, like, I'm like twice these guys' ages, like all my training partners and everybody, they're all like in their, early to late 20s, and I'm over here about to turn 40, and I'm keeping up with them. And sometimes I got to remind myself, like, dude, you're almost 40. Like, try to slow it down. You know.
That's a good thing, though. I mean, it's a bad thing, obviously, if you're taking like crazy bumps, but it's a good thing. At least you know that you have, that your body can handle still going how it needs to go, and performing in front of all of these amazing people that come to watch you. What is your mindset? Now that you are 40, what is your mindset towards what kind of bookings that you get? Are you just looking for everything, or do you know, like, hey, my time's limited, I have maybe a good 10 years left, I want to do this strategically?
Right now I'm at a point where like I want to like get as much exposure as I can. Because my clock is ticking, and I have like a limited window of how much and how long I can do this. So one, I got to be smart about it, and two, it's just like I just want to get my name out there, make the most out of this, so that I don't feel like it was all for nothing. So like if I can get to like a dark match on AEW, or even on WWE TV, or just to get a match in New Japan, that that would fulfill my achievements. But realistically, I like to like get my name all over the West Coast, and then possibly, travel to the Midwest, to the East Coast, just to get my name out there as much as possible and just get eyes on me.
So what are your thoughts on like the newly emerging scene that is the next state over in New Mexico, and going like before it was just like over New Mexico into Texas and then even Colorado up north and then going into devotion wrestling in Utah just further up north. How do you are you looking to stake a claim in this new region?
Yeah, like I'm looking to like dominate the entire West Coast. Anything that touches Arizona, like I want to dominate. So like I have plans to go up to Utah, Colorado, and me coming in to face Tommy and phase one, that's just one step closer to like dominating every single state that touches Arizona.
Where is one place, minus the big companies, because everybody says that, minus WWE, AEW, New Japan, and TNA, what is another promotion that you would like to work for this year?
There's so many. But if I had to narrow it down to one, I would say Defy up in the Northwest.
Oh, okay.
They got a big following. I know Kenta is their heavyweight champ. They have big names come through there. But I would like to see what I can do up there, up in Defy.
Okay. How did it, what was your mindset going back to training and then being like, okay, now I left being a wrestler, took this time away from wrestling. I'm coming back as a fan, and now I'm a student. Where's your mindset towards all of that?
Well, I took like half the year. So like that whole pandemic time, once they opened up the gyms back up, I started going to the gym regularly just to get my body ready for it, because I knew it was going to be strenuous. They at the Arizona Pro Wrestling Training Center, they give you like a criteria of like what's expected, just push-ups, crunches, and squats. So if you can do all three of those, pretty well in a timely manner, then you should be able to get through the tryout. But I did not factor in my cardio, so like that hindered me a lot. And so even before my tryout, they held 2 boot camps, and I wrecked both my quads on both boot camps. So imagining like and it was just like calisthenics too. It was just like almost like CrossFit, where you jump in, you're doing box jumps, and then like after a while I couldn't even jump 20 inches off the ground, and that's like the shortest distance, and I couldn't even do that because my legs would lock up, and it took me a week both times to recover from it.
It seems like almost every successful person we've had, Chris, just has like those horrible injuries. Aaron Ashbolt's shoulders, 2 scoops, which got his injury. Yeah, it's crazy. Maybe that's what builds the people.
Yeah, like that whole week that I was at the New Japan LA dojo, like my shoulders were gone. Like I couldn't sleep at night at the hotel, and they made us, every day was like something new, and they upped the intensity, and they added new stuff every single day of that week. And my mindset was just survive at that point. And with training here in Arizona, it was just, if I can get through this, I can get through anything. And this is all going to be worth it in the end, because if this is going to be like the hardest thing I do, then everything else should be easy.
As Ramrock would say, it's a job requirement. Going to the gym is a job requirement to be a pro wrestler. So, and the cardio and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
Also, like media and doing all of that kind of stuff, which people still tend to forget. Your story is interesting, and it's still sticking with me. Is you come here, and you feel like you're a glorified backyard wrestler, especially where you trained. And it's because we've met backyard wrestlers. it's weird hearing that, and then seeing how you are now. That still had to carry over. Yes, you had ring rust, but you know it never truly left you. It's a weird. It's just weird to me that you said that.
I had to literally erase everything that I thought I knew about pro wrestling prior, because like I had the prior training, you know, like running the ropes and taking bumps and all that. Like I had to erase that all from my memory just so I could start new and really learn like professional wrestling. And then you not only the moves and how to move in the ring, but like psychology, like why we do the things we do, you know, with character development and everything else that comes with it. You know, I didn't really take that to heart or seriously when I was 18. Like I rarely went to the gym. I was just doing spots. I was doing 619s. I was doing frog splashes. I was trying to learn the 450 so I could do the Phoenix splash. My arsenal was patterned after Hayabusa and Hurricane and Rey Mysterio because I was like 150 pounds soaking wet, you know, when I was 18. So like I had very limited moveset and I just bounced off the ropes doing springboards, dives, like literally anything and everything, kind of like a backyard wrestler, just doing spots. And I had to erase all of that when I started training again in 2021. And the way my trainer saw me was not what I envisioned to be, because I envisioned to be like a Shibata or Kyle O'Reilly, that type of technical striker wrestler. You know, I wanted to be something like that, but they didn't see me as that. They see me as who I am now. And it took a long time to get over it. It took me a long time to get used to it and to think that way.
Now that you're coming to the land of enchantment, how are you feeling? You know, is this your first time wrestling in New Mexico? Well, obviously this has to be, correct?
Yeah, it'll be my first time in New Mexico in any capacity.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I've traveled through New Mexico, you know, to get to Colorado or to get to Texas, but like not to like stay or anything like that. So yeah, it'll be my first like real experience of New Mexico.
I'm so sorry, but you know, it should be fun, and hopefully you do enjoy your time here. How does it feel that you're actually going to get to mark this state off? Because there are so many wrestlers who are still trying to, and people who we've had on this podcast who want to be able to mark off all 50 states. And this is just one that now is starting to open up.
You know, like it's something that has to be done for me. You know, like if I want to get my name out there, I have to, you know, I have to travel to states to wrestle. So like I'm not going to be able to do it, you know, just sitting on the couch or, you know, not doing anything about it. I'm not. You got to send out emails. You got to put your name out there, and that's one way of doing it. Is just, you know, that just getting your name out there, and you know, or you have somebody like Tommy call me out and coming to his backyard, and makes it a lot easier for me to come to any state to want to wrestle him.
But also seeing people from Arizona, like with Ramrock, with Devin Reno, with all these guys, like has that kind of also enticed you into coming into the state? Just seeing these guys and how successful that they are in the business that's thriving here.
Yeah, like if they can travel out there and fucking and kill it, basically, you know, like that motivates me. Like, hey, if they can do it, you know, why not? Why can't I? You know, like they all have Devin wrestles a certain way, Ramrock wrestles a certain way, Tommy wrestles a certain way. Why not show people my style of wrestling?
Is your style of wrestling going to scare the crowds? Are we going to get to keep two scoops after this?
I guarantee, like, my style of wrestling is going to make you want to come back and see me, whether it's to beat the living crap out of somebody or to see me get my ass kicked. It's one of the two. Either way, you're still coming to see me.
Okay. All right. I'll agree. Also, to Devin Reno, he lost to Hobo Hank at DCCW. I'm just going to say that. hopefully he sees this. I hope he does. We'd love to have him on. I'd love to talk smack to him too. So we're gonna get into.
Can't really do that. Can't really do that to my boy Devin. Me and him are day one, and you know.
I know.
I'm gonna defend him. So.
Oh, I know y'all are day. I saw the pictures, unfortunately.
Yeah. All he's got to do is call me up, and I'm there. No questions asked.
I'm scared. So let's get into the phase 1 stuff, man. Let's get into the main event of this. What everybody's waiting for. So you have basically Rio Rancho's golden boy. The city loves him. The entire wrestling community loves him. He is the face of New Mexico wrestling as of right now. Well, at least young New Mexico wrestling. How does it feel that he chose you to settle this? Everything you guys have gone through for these past couple of years, he wants you here.
I was actually taken back that he would actually choose me and for this big of a stage, you know, for him, because yeah, he's the face of. It's easy to say that he's the face of New Mexico wrestling. You know, he lives there. He does DCCW. He does phase 1. He's over with the people. Everyone loves him. And for him to call my name out, knowing what I've done in Vegas, in California, in Arizona, he wants to call me out and possibly ruin everything that he's built in New Mexico. It's shocking to me.
You traumatized that man, especially from the videos that I've been able to find. It wasn't exactly like this is a call out, like you guys have a friendly rivalry. You've attacked him. You've attacked Dom Vitale. You have been his bully, essentially. So it shouldn't be. This was bound to come. We just didn't think that we were going to be able to see it here in New Mexico.
I don't really call it bullying, you know. So like our first encounter, I mean, Tommy was in the wrong place at the wrong time. That whole the story between me and Don Vitale is that battle royal that Tommy said that he was gonna win. It was his first match and all that, and like he caught my foot in his face in that match. I wasn't a part of it. I was angry because Dom Vitale decided that I was better suited to manage parking cars, and that everyone else below me, I feel that was below me, got to be a part of that match, got to be part in that Young Sons Battle Royal for the very first PCW show coming back from COVID. I was relegated to the parking cars. I was better than all of them. And Dom Vitale puts me in that spot and not put me in that battle royal. I was pissed. There's a video. I am pissed. I walked straight through that curtain and I wrecked everyone that was in that ring. Tommy just happened to be the first one that I put down. And ever since then he's had a grudge. He chose his path. I chose mine.
No comment, Chris. You're not.
Business is business. Is business is business.
I made that point at everyone's expense. I didn't care who was in the ring. I broke a trophy over a security guard's back because he stayed in the ring.
That's excessive.
That proved a point. That proved my point that I should have been in that battle royal regardless. And from then on, I've been taking out people left and right. I've taken out Hammerstone with a chair. I've taken out my other trainer, my wrestling father, Gabriel Gallo, out with a chair to be on the main roster of PCW. And I've even taken out Tommy's precious trainer, Dom Vitale, out with a chair.
You have a weird fascination with chairs, my guy. That we're starting to connect the dots here and there, all telling us to sit down. So, Two Scoops obviously made the challenge, and we don't know what the match type's going to be. We have no idea. All we know is that he was extremely pumped. He grabbed a mic, and he knew what he wanted to say.
Yeah, on that last podcast, he left the door open for me to any match I want. And I'm like, I'll think about it. I'm not gonna tell him. I wasn't gonna tell him then, right then and there. So I've had some time to think about it. And if he's up for it, well, he doesn't have any balls. So I'm gonna say if he has the scoops, I will face him in New Mexico in his backyard, no DQ, steel chair match.
In a no disqualification steel chair match in front of everybody that loves him. That's what we're picking. That's what we're going with. That is the match. Kevin Koa has said it. Why do you want to do that so bad?
If it's going to be in his backyard, why not have it be a match where I am very familiar with the weapon of choice? I'm there to make everyone cry. I'm there to traumatize people. I'm not there to make friends. I'm not there to shake hands. I'm not there to kiss babies. I am there for one reason and one reason only, and that is to take Tommy Test out. Ruin everything that he's built in New Mexico, everything in his home, ruin his family, ruin his friends, ruin everything about New Mexico.
I wonder what the back office is going to say to this. I really do. I really wonder what they're going to say after this episode comes out. Are we going to get in trouble because we are just standing by? We really don't have any power. We're just kind of worried what's going to happen to this. It's going to be very graphic.
To be fair, Two Scoops at the last DCCW show, he came equipped with the chair in his match with Tony against, who was the other two?
It was Jaden Monroe and Tyler Copeland.
So he's not really unfamiliar with bringing a chair to a ring. Doesn't that he's going to come equipped? Are you also going to become equipped?
Let's just say I have my chair ready, my special chair ready for Tommy Test.
I mean, Chris is right. He did use a chair in the last DCCW show. We're very excited to see what you guys have. Do you have any final thoughts, if you will, towards Tommy, towards phase one, towards the people of New Mexico who are going to pay to see this and have everybody in his corner?
Well, Tommy's in for a world of hurt. Everyone in New Mexico is finally going to experience the killer instinct. And whether you like it or not, I am Koa. And I take everything.
I'm really worried for Tommy. I know that he's done very well, and he is a brother of the pod. This is why we're kind of a little taken back, if you will. We all are very proud of what he's been able to accomplish on this journey that he's had. So this is a little tough for us to hear. It feels so weird, dude. I'm sorry, but it feels weird. We're supposed to have this fun and exciting interview, and deep down in my heart, I'm like, you're gonna hurt our boy, and we can't stop it.
No one can stop it. No one can stop the killer instinct. Not Tommy, not my trainers, not anyone.
And normally, like, on a previous episode, we had a man who had very unfinished tattoos and looked like a coloring book, Ocean Avery, and I felt what he's done, and I'm still here. But I've seen what you've gotten to do, and I'm just worried for Two Scoops, man. This is a different one. This is one where I don't know how we're gonna feel, me, Chris, and our team, when we go see you.
It's the mouth guard, dude. It's that mouth guard that he always wears, the shark teeth.
Yeah,
man, it's unsettling.
I mean, I feel like we've gotten to say everything we needed to say. Unless you have any other thoughts, this is going to be scary.
Just show up August 24th and you'll see why I am the Killer Instinct. And you'll have your chance to pay your last respects, because that'll be the demise of Tommy Two Scoops Test.
All right. Well, before anything else, before we sign off, before we say goodbye, Phase 1 Pro is doing something very exciting for this final show. You guys, everybody who loves professional wrestling, everybody who wants to get their own personal brands out, you guys can sponsor wrestlers. And that money goes towards the wrestler. It also helps cross promotion and a bunch of other amazing things for Phase 1 Pro as they are still trying to grow and become even better than every other show, because that's what we try to do. Every new show, we always try to get better and better and better. So you guys can head over to Phase 1 Pro's Instagram, Facebook, get in contact with them. You guys can sponsor wrestlers like Kevin Koa, Tommy Two Scoops, and many others. We can't wait to see what is in store August 24th. My brother, how can everybody follow you? How can everybody see the brutality that you have and everything that you do in your daily life?
Well, you can follow me on Instagram and X. The handle is at @the_Koa_808. You can find me on Facebook as well. I don't have TikTok because that's stupid. I don't need TikTok. I'm too old for that. You can find me on YouTube as well. Same handle at @the_Koa_808. You can follow if you want to see any of my matches. You can subscribe on YouTube. Phoenix Championship Wrestling. You'll see all my matches from Slam U. You can look back at the history between me and Tommy Test from the beginning to where it is now. And enjoy the ride.
This one's kind of sad. Ladies and gentlemen, this was our time with Kevin Koa. Now, like he said, you can check all of that stuff to see what him and Tommy Two Scoops have built up in this very interesting rivalry. I'm super afraid, but of course, you can also come with us and watch it live August 24th, Rio Rancho's Elks Lodge. And we will see each and every one of you in the next video.